Good morning, everyone. I'm Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we are Backyard Musings. I'm broadcast from Apple Valley,
I'm in Utah.
and we are the Science and Technology channel, bringing you stories about science and innovations and stuff. We're not subject matter experts. We're the messenger. All right,
Yep. Passing it on.
that's right. Despite affecting over 30 million Americans, COPD remains dangerously underdiagnosed. As a leading cause of death, this chronic respiratory disease continues to claim lives. Yet awareness and early diagnosis efforts lag behind. With death rates rising and women disproportionately affected, experts stress the urgent need for education and prevention. Would you like to know more?
Chronic lower respiratory diseases, including chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, commonly known as COPD, are the sixth leading cause of death in the United States,
Wow.
according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The CDC's National Health Center for Health Statistics confirmed this ranking in its final deaths leading causes for 2022 report. COPD includes conditions like chronic bronchitis and emphysema and can develop due to genetics or long-term exposure to irritants such as smoke and pollution. Common symptoms include breathlessness, fatigue, and a persistent cough.
Yeah, so I have COPD, and it's from the burn pits in Iraq and Afghanistan, and that smoke was pervasive all across the camp. And I've got a battle buddy from Afghanistan who has this persistent cough. He just, like it's almost like a nervous cough, and it's like constant, and it's crazy that. And this is, it affects everyone around you, that cough. But besides, I mean, the breathlessness, the fatigue, I also use a CPAP to help me breathe at night too.
All right, I got to ask you, what's a burn pit?
Oh, a burn pit is like in a deployed into a combat zone. You've got trash, right? And you don't have contracts with the locals to pick up the trash. And in some cases you don't want the enemy picking through your trash. So they dig a big pit, right? And then they start throwing everything in there: batteries, tires, food waste, paper waste,
Everything,
seeds,
everything that we're not allowed to burn here.
right? And they set it on fire, and it's almost like a continual burn.
Well, that could be. I mean, some of those things you just mentioned, those could be kind of toxic. So
Yeah, I mean, imagine medical waste. That's crazy.
Like or batteries.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
So that affects a lot of veterans. It does. Okay, more than 30 million Americans have COPD, yet about half remain undiagnosed. Awareness of symptoms, risk factors, and disease management is still low. On a global scale, COPD ranks as the fourth leading cause of death, according to 2021 data from the World Health Organization. Quote, COPD affects millions of people in the United States and worldwide. However, despite being the leading cause of death, many are unaware of the disease and its symptoms, said Jean Wright. It's got a lot of letters after her name. CEO of the COPD Foundation. Quote, we must continue to increase awareness of COPD and to educate people about the disease's symptoms and the importance of early diagnosis, helping people live longer, healthier lives.
According to the report, the number of deaths from chronic lower respiratory diseases increased by 3.5% in 2022. And that's kind of when we were just coming out of COVID, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just coming out of it.
Yeah.
Chronic lower respiratory diseases were the sixth leading cause of death for both men and women. However, the burden of death was higher for women, 5%, than men, 4%. The leading causes of the death in the U.S. in 2022 were diseases of the heart, malignant neoplasms, accidents, unintentional injuries.
These are ranked order. These are ranked order.
Right, and there's 10 of them, right? Yeah, 10. COVID-19, which was fourth. So yeah, that was probably because I would think if this test had been done maybe a year or two earlier than that, it would have been COVID would have been a little higher probably.
Yeah, I think that's why you saw a jump between 21 and 22 is because of the COVID deaths.
Yeah, because COVID, I mean, when it first came out, I mean, anybody that died in the hospital had COVID listed, next to their name. So, cerebral vascular diseases were number 5. 6 was chronic lower respiratory diseases. 7, Alzheimer's disease, which we talked about extensively, right? 8, diabetes mellitus, which we talked about. And 9, nephritis, nephrotic syndrome, and nephrosis. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know what any of that is. 10, chronic liver disease and cirrhosis. So I'm familiar with that one.
Nephritis is where I looked this up because I didn't know either. It's where your kidney is releasing water, and it goes and it pools down in your feet.
Oh,
so your feet swell. That's nephrosis.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's kind of goes along with diabetes, right?
Yeah.
Circulation. There's not enough circulation to pump it out of your lower extremities. Yeah. So that's when you start having stuff whacked off. That's not good. So, go ahead.
The report data uses information from all death certificates filed in the United States in 2022. Cause of death certificates are based on the underlying cause of death and are classified by the International Classification of Diseases, 10th revision. So yeah, this is that's some crazy statistics.
Yeah,
I'll be willing to bet that's 1/10 of the population, right? 1 in 10. we're like 300 million.
330.
Yeah, so hovering around 10%, 1 in 10. That's even more prevalent than autism, which is 1 in 54.
Yeah.
So definitely
scary stuff.
You probably know someone. If you're listening to us right now, you probably know someone that has COPD besides me.
Well, and if they don't, like you said, or in the report it says if you don't know you have it, you may have it. Just you either haven't been to the doctor, or they haven't diagnosed you with it. So luckily for you, being around those burn pits, as you were talking about, I mean, that I remember years ago when I was a kid, that's at the dump. That's what they did to dispose of the waste before they buried it. They would burn it. And now I know our landfill now is, compared to how it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I mean, it's 100% better. So just burying it.
Yeah. So if you've got that shortness of breath, fatigue, and you got a persistent cough, then go see the doctor and get this treated so you can improve your life.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, everyone.
All right. Thanks a lot, folks. We'll see you this afternoon.
Take care, everyone. Thanks.